Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudhirair Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Namo Pankaja Nabhaya Namo Pankaja Maline Namo Pankaja Netraya Namaste Pankajangre Om Ajnanaतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन् मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यमीश्वरम् नमो ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे योऽन्ता प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तान् सञ्जीवयत किल शक्तिधरा स्वधाम्ना अन्यांश हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं कथाञ्चन स्मृते यस्मिन् दुष्करं सुकरं भवेत् विस्मृते विपरीतं स्यात् श्रीचैतन्य नमामि तम्
Hare Krishna. Yeah. Okay. So let us welcome Bihari Prabhu. Hari Bol. To the Bay Area. First time, right, bro? First
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
How many of you know Braj Bihari Prabhu? Acha. This side? Only Prabhu. Yeah, Prabhu is of course from Bombay. Anantita Prabhu, you know, right? So, Braj Bihari Prabhu is a very dedicated, sincere, and I can add so many adjectives. He joined way back in 1999 in Radha Gopinath Temple Brahmacharya Ashram. I was there at that time. Actually, together we at the same time decided to join. So after 20 years, I decided to move on, but he continues and showering his nectarian mercy all over. So Rajiveri Prabhu was actually a gold medalist in MBA from Mumbai University those days. Highly qualified and were a very respectable Brahmin family from Udupi. His parents we went, Guru Maharaj, Swami Maharaj and many brahmacharis, we went to their home for a lunch, you know. So like 30, 40 brahmacharis, 50 brahmacharis maybe.
Yeah,
Huh?
No, actually
More.
100 tak ho gaya.
Sorry. I lost track of it. So many, just packed. Maybe I saw one batch, there must be another batch. So Maharaj sat down and there was a beautiful kirtan went on, you know, the cultural things. And then we honored prasadam, one after other items. I'm a foodie person, so naturally those things goes to my memory very quick. Anyway, but the thing is, Prabhu has studied Srimad Bhagavatam and he preached, and he very, in the beginning days, he would do any service that is allotted to him, like going out for book distributions, like all of you are doing. But imagine distributing books in Mumbai local trains. I don't know how many of you have ever tried. Please try it, all of you adventure-seeking people, right? When you go to Bombay next time, try in the local trains. Then you will appreciate Prabhu. And he was like champion. And he inspired many other brahmacharis, including me, to go out on books, local trains. And anyway, so, but then his heart is actually studying scriptures and writing. It's a prolific author. You can see all these books. It's not easy. Like I wrote one book and I'm like kind of retiring. But you see books after books and a lot of introspections and guiding many devotees in their spiritual path and doing amazing interactive sessions all over the world, especially from Australia. I think New Zealand also you went? No, not yet. UK of course, and part of Europe, and now here in US. Of course in India, Mumbai, his lot of followings are there who love him, who adore him and who respect him and who kind of look forward to his guidances. So I know I'm missing many things because we're friends. Like sometimes you don't know the best part of the friends because we know each other so closely that many good things we overlook it, right? So maybe if I'm missing something, please forgive.
You're forgiven.
And anybody wants to add anything? Achyuta, am I missing something? Would you like to add?
Another yaar.
No.
I mean, just when Prabhu was saying 3 books, actually there are many other books as well. One of my favorite is Cricket in a Monastery, but we have just put up the latest ones. And also more than 1,000+ articles of Yoga for Modern Age, and he has his own YouTube channel. I mean, I am one of the most watched. Yeah. So we are very actually fortunate to have Vrajvihari Prabhu. So we loudly try to welcome him by loudly chanting 3 times. Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol. Thank you so much, Radha Vallabh Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Thank you for hosting me here at San Jose. Very grateful to all of you for giving me an opportunity to come here and share my understanding of Krishna consciousness. But this is one workshop I do everywhere. So I'm assuming that whoever is supposed to come for this program today has come. If anybody comes now, they will miss the fun. There's some interactive exercise we do, which is quite revealing. I've done this for the counselors in our Mumbai. Wherever I've done, people found it useful. So if somebody comes in now, somebody will have to give an orientation, tell them what's happening. Okay? So there is, we are going to study the principle of appreciation. And we will actually see how we can take our appreciation to higher levels. Because we're all followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And spiritual life has been simplified in such an amazing way that it is so easy and so simple that some crooked minds will miss it. Because we want complicated things. It's so easy. It's actually so simple. But we miss it because we think, how can it be so? How can it be so simple? But it is. But there is a catch, there's a password. And that password we are going to study today. What is it? So there are two things. One is chanting of Hare Krishna in our path. And the second and more important thing is, Mahaprabhu told devotees, appreciate devotees. If we can do these two things, we will find spiritual life blissful. You may be in the middle of a big misery in life, still you will be peaceful. It's possible and it has happened in the past. So there is this important element of appreciating devotees. So there are a lot of, this is my verses book. I can speak on this whole night. There are so many shlokas and so many sections in the Chaitanya Charitamrita which emphasize on appreciation. There are so many Bhagavatam verses. I'm sure you get to hear all of that on YouTube also, and a lot of devotees here, because I hear all the classes, not all, I hear many classes which happen at San Jose Temple, where Adhikaraman Prabhu and Vaisheshika Prabhu is so scriptural. So much of foundation of Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita is here. So I was thinking, I'm here for 2 days in this visit. Let me give you a different experience. Rather than scriptures, we'll do today something on application of scriptures. Today and tomorrow, wherever the program is. So today we will do on appreciation. So there is 3 rounds of appreciation. We will take our appreciation to higher levels and experience Krishna. 11th canto, Srila Jiva Goswami says, we spiritually become self-realized. We become whatever, the highest understanding of spirituality we get when we can see Krishna everywhere. When we can see God everywhere. But there is a problem there. He says we can't see God everywhere if we can't begin to see God, if we can't begin to see Krishna in the heart of people whom we are living with, or people who matter to us. If we can't see Krishna in their hearts, we can't see Krishna in the heart of all living entities. So today we will discuss how to see Krishna around us, how to actually experience Krishna. So, to begin this exercise, you will need a partner. Maybe the person next to you. I'll give you 10 seconds. You're not going to sit your whole night thinking who will be my partner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9.5, 9.6, 9.7, 9.8, 9.9. Everybody has a partner? Who doesn't have a partner? Please raise your hand. Everyone has a partner? He has no problem, so you don't worry. I'm asking who don't have a partner and who is like, raise your hand if you don't have a partner. If somebody is not raising a hand, means he has a partner. Maybe he's connected to Paramatma. So no, will not disturb anyone. Okay, so you can go back maybe, Prabhu. So you don't have. You want to come there? Okay. Here everybody on the ladies' side? Yes? Okay. So the first round. Okay. So one of you will be A and the other B. Okay? And you'll do something interesting. When I play the kartal, not now, so maybe A will speak first. And then when I play kartal, A is going to speak. And when I again play kartal, then what will happen? You will swap. The rules are clear? A will speak when I play kartal, and when I again play kartal after 1 minute, you will swap. B will speak. Is that clear? And I have to tell you what to speak, otherwise you will speak anything. So, listen to this very carefully. There is a twist. There is a twist to the plot here. Think of a person you want to appreciate. Now, remember that person should not be person should not be your partner. You can't embarrass him. I want to appreciate you. No. Very important. The person you're going to appreciate is not going to be your guru. Not Srila Prabhupada or Krishna or Lord. Because it's easy to appreciate Guru. It's easy to appreciate Srila Prabhupada. Very difficult to appreciate, the people with whom our false egos rub. But it could be anyone. But there's a catch here. That person has to be alive in flesh and blood on the planet. Because it's also easy to appreciate those who have passed away. Even Ram appreciated Ravan after killing him. So, once a person is no more, it's easy to appreciate. So, everybody is clear? Whom are you going to appreciate? Some alive person, and also? Okay, don't just raise your hand if you know what are the rules of this. Yes, what is the rule?
When you play kartal, one will speak and then you swap and you speak after, like when you play kartal after.
Swap, yeah.
And then what you speak is I have to appreciate someone who is alive and who's not my guru, who's not Srila Prabhupada or the Lord.
Great. And not your partner, not B. Yeah. So is that all clear? But again, there is a very, very important catch here. Now listen to this very carefully. Especially your partner has to listen to you. And if you have to listen to your partner very attentively, because in the third round, you will be tested. Because what generally happens is when you're speaking, or when your partner is speaking, instead of listening to him, you are thinking of the person you want to appreciate. But if you do that, then you will miss the third round. Third round is going to be real fun. Trust me. Is that clear? You have to hear attentively when your partner is speaking. All of you? Okay.
Can we tell the names of the person?
If you want, you can. But if you don't want to, you can not. It's okay. It's a choice. But there is a very important catch here. Now listen to this very carefully. When you are going to speak about that person to your partner, you will glorify that person, but you speak about yourself. I'll explain, but let it sink in. Appreciate a person, but you're speaking about yourself. Okay, now this is actually not as confusing and complicated as you're imagining, because generally 99.9% of the time when we appreciate someone, this is what we do. We appreciate a person, but we speak about ourselves. Which is not bad. Which is not bad at all. I'm just saying it is the first level. There are higher levels of appreciation. But you need to first experience the first level and then we'll go higher. Is that okay? No, it's not okay. I have to give an example, then it will be clear. If you were my partner and if I am A and I have to speak, right? And my time starts now. This is how I'm going to speak. So you'll get an idea of what you have to speak to your partner. Okay? My time has started. Hare Krishna. Prabhu, I would like to appreciate one of my friends. His name is Chetan. He's an amazing, amazing boy. Actually when my mother was very sick, I was stuck in Udupi in my hometown, and I was taking care of my mom. And I was so helpless, so frustrated. And you know what Chetan did? Actually, I changed his name. Let me speak his real name. His name is Jigar. You know what Jigar did? He dropped everything and he came to Udupi where I was staying, and he took care of my mother, he took care of me, and he helped me remain sane. And I was in so much anxiety. I had to take my mom to the hospital. I have to get the room clean. And my mother was disoriented and she was struggling so much. And then after my mother became all right, he was actually working from home with very poor internet connection, but he managed to balance his office, taking care of his own family, then me and my mother. And he gave me money, he gave me support. And then after I came back to Mumbai, he would call me every week. And he would cook prasad for me. Okay, my time is over. Did you notice what I did? What did I do? I appreciated Jigar. But it was all about. So this is not bad. This is good, but not the best. But it's the first step. At least we're appreciating. At least we are not criticizing. And this is a recipe for overcoming depression also. Because we are at least counting our blessings. At least we are not criticizing. Generally we live in the gap mentality. Here at least you are appreciating someone, although it's all about yourself. So is it possible? Can all of you do this, or is it too confusing? Simple, right? Your time starts now. Okay, now B will speak to A. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you for doing this exercise. It's easy, right, to appreciate someone because we are actually talking about the blessings we've got. It's easy. Now, you are going to touch a higher level of happiness. You are going to change the gear. Thank you. So, you are going to do something interesting. You are going to appreciate the same person to your partner. But there's going to be nothing about yourself. Imagine you were never born. Imagine you are in the sky, you are up in the clouds, and you are seeing this friend of yours. or this parent or this librarian or your boss or your neighbor, I don't know. Imagine you are seeing someone from up above, and how would you appreciate him or her if you did not exist in his life? So what you're going to do now, inadvertently, you will be touching a higher level of happiness because you are declaring to the universe that there is a reality beyond yourself. We are slowly entering a space which is vast, which is wonderful. Same 1 minute exercise where you will share with your partner will share, you have to think hard, it's difficult, I know, it's not easy. But it's very rewarding. So I'm just doing a 1 minute exercise, but if you can do it later in your own way, it will be very fulfilling. I'll give an example. If you are my partner, who did I speak about in the first round? Jigar. What did I tell you about him? How he took care of my mom and how he did so much for me. So okay, now my time has started. I have to start. So Jigar is an amazing devotee. You know what he does? His mom cooks breakfast, lunch and dinner for him. And she also packs fresh snacks, chuda and all those things. He's a Gujarati fellow, foodie. And he takes his dabba to office and he works 5 days a week. And he comes late from work. And his mom is quite elderly. She really works hard and she takes care of him so well. But you know what he does, how he reciprocates. Saturday, Sunday, he treats his mother like a queen. He cooks breakfast, lunch and dinner for her. He cleans up the house and sometimes he takes her out. He says, I'm going on a date with my mom. He takes her out. And whenever I meet his mom, she's so happy and grateful. And his father passed away some years ago. But every year he goes to Gaya and performs the Pind Tarpan for his father. And he's very, very grateful to his father. It's not easy to go every year to Gaya. He goes every year, he's very grateful. He says, whatever I am here now is because of my father. He's very, very, very grateful to his father. He loves his mother and he's working for an American multinational firm in Mumbai. All his colleagues are Americanized Indians. And still there he has devotional culture. He's created a devotional culture there. He goes to office in Tilak. And everybody in his office greets each other as Hare Krishna. In fact, something funny also happens in his office. Sometimes a colleague, some lady from Singapore has to send fax. So they talk to each other, even amongst the ladies. I mean, it's shocking. In Mumbai, in an American firm, sometimes they say, "Arey, wo Singapore ka Mataji ka fax aaya kya? Le lo." They are not devotees also. They just Mata, because he is like that. He is inside, outside, same. He's so sweet and he's respectful and he's got the best employee award for I think 6 or 7 times. It's like a big deal. He's professional, very humble. My time is over. I could have gone on and on. But you got it. Did you see anything here interesting compared to the first round? What happened? What did I speak? No. So Braj Bihari Das, as if Braj Bihari Das never was born. I hope just want this to sink in to you because when you do this, you touch some level of happiness which is unfathomable to the senses. Because we are full of ourselves. And the best way to overcome negativity, depression is when we can see a reality beyond ourselves. Do this for now. I know this is not going to be the perfect way because many of us may be doing it for the first time. But nevertheless, it's a beginning. So can we start? Your time, say A to B, now. Your time starts now. swap B to A. Hare Krishna. Thank you for doing this exercise. Now, let me clarify, the first round you did is not inferior, it's important. Because when we appreciate in context of our own experiences, then we are personalists, we are not impersonal people. You are a person, you have feelings and you have experiences, so it's not wrong. It's just that we also need to rise. And the personal experiences are so important. I've seen that some of the toughest people, the greatest managers, the most stoic people, they get moved by small things. I've seen it in my life all the time. I remember when Radha Vallabh Prabhu and myself, we are very close friends for many years now. When we joined the ashram, we were both counseled by Gauranga Prabhu. He was our counselor, always there. All of you know Gauranga Prabhu, he comes here also. So, and I used to see Gauranga Prabhu as somebody who was a hardcore manager, he would go around, he would call the shots, he would snap his fingers like this and things would happen. And there was another brahmachari in our temple called Stoka Krishna Prabhu, who was very soft, gentle, he would always have an attitude like this, yes Prabhuji. And he would always do services extra, which was not told to him. Extra also he would do. Like for example, he would stitch brahmachari's clothes. Even if, it was not ordained, it was not that he didn't have to do it. So Gauranga Prabhu would come, sometimes he would remove his kurta and he would make it into a ball and he would throw it at Stoka Krishna Prabhu. I've seen this. Hey Stoka, I want it by tomorrow afternoon, okay? Hari bol. And he would say, yes Prabhuji, yes Prabhuji. And Gauranga Prabhu would march off for another seva, always serving Prabhupada. And I would be like, wow, he's a leader, he's a manager, and he's doing so many things. And next afternoon, hey Stoka, where is kurta? Prabhuji, sorry, I was busy, I'll get, hey, you lazy fellow. And then he would pat him on the back, and Stoka Krishna would fumble. And of course, they were very close friends, but no expression of emotions. Only, for him, love meant slapping somebody on the back. Different people have a different way of showing love, right? So his love language was, I love you, that's why I'm giving you service. Do this, do this, do this. So my language of love could be, sit and talk to me. But he has no time to talk to you. You just, and that's the way he loves you. But anyway, so Krishna Prabhu, I would see this exchange and I would feel, wow, Gauranga Prabhu, because I'm not like that. So, opposite poles attract, like poles repel. So I was like, wow. He has no emotions. He's actual an ideal, ideal spiritualist. Renounced, ideal renunciant. He has no emotions. So I thought renounced order means you have no emotions. You don't cry. Stoic. So anyway, time passed, how time changes everything. So Krishna Prabhu eventually moved on, he got married, and he left the ashram and he got married, and then his wife was pregnant, and then when she was about to, I think 5 months pregnant, he was diagnosed with an advanced stage of cancer. And he had only 6 months to live. And it was an intense phase, and then just during his last days, we brought him to temple. So in one of the rooms in the temple, we would read Bhagavatam for him so that he can prepare for his onward journey. And I remember I had the service of reading Bhagavatam for him. And just when 12 hours, doctor said now, anytime in 12 hours, he's going to leave. And I was reading Bhagavatam for him so that he remembers Krishna. It was an intense period. All of us love him. And Gaurang Prabhu, he had come from his program. And he walked into the room where I was reading Bhagavatam. And I had always seen him in control of his emotional state. And there I saw him, his voice was choked, his eyes were moist, and he was in denial. He ठीक हो जाएगा ना? He's looking at me and saying, ठीक हो जाएगा ना? कुछ तो रहेगा ना? For those of you who don't know Hindi, he's like, I think he can still come out of this, right? He's an IIT brain, he's so intelligent. And he's such a big man. And he's like telling me, I'm sure he can come out, right? I said, Prabhu, no, doctor said max 24 hours. And he's gasping also, for breath, and all those tubes and everything is put on him. And Gaurang Prabhu then talks to Dwarkadish Prabhu. And he's talking so illogically. So that illogic is coming from a state of deep emotions for Stoka Krishna Prabhu. Wanting to see him alive and flourish. And then what was really amazing was he came to me, he said, Bihari, I will read Bhagavatam. Main padhta hu. And then he couldn't read Bhagavatam for more than 2 minutes. But as soon as he began reading, his voice choked. And his voice suddenly, because Stoka Krishna Prabhu knows his voice. Stoka Krishna Prabhu is lying down like this. As soon as he heard Gaurang Prabhu's voice, immediately he turned his head. He started looking at him, his eyes became big. And then he started moving his hands frantically. And Gaurang Prabhu immediately, we all got alarmed. And Gaurang Prabhu told me, hey, Bihari, kya bol raha hai? What is this? What is he trying to say? I said, wait, let me find out. So I was looking at him, and then I looked at Gaurang Prabhu, looked at him, and I understood. And I told Gaurang, Prabhu, look at your kurta. Gaurang Prabhu's button was broken. And Stoka Krishna Prabhu was doing like this. He wanted him to remove his kurta so that he could stitch it. And he's like, and when I said that, he wants you to remove your kurta and give it to him so that he can stitch it, and then Stoka Krishna Prabhu became wild. He's like, as if in approval, and yeah, you have understood me. And that is the kind of exchanges they're having. Apparently what I thought was an insignificant thing that happened many years ago in the ashram meant so much in that last moment when he's about to leave the world. And then Gaurang Prabhu, when he realized that Stoka Krishna Prabhu is asking for his kurta, he just broke down. And I'd never seen him before that, like that. And then he removed his kurta, he didn't know what to do, then he again put it on. He was crying, he was confused, and I was only looking at him. Because for me that was an epoch moment in my life. Oh, Vaishnavas have soft heart. So why I'm saying this? I don't know, I got lost. This pastime for me was very significant because I realized that what we think is unimportant or simple or small, insignificant, has a lot of significance when we die. It may not be sometimes we may not, we may appreciate small things and we think I'm not spiritual, but it will mean a lot to you when you are dying. I'll give an example. Recently, one brahmachari, not recently, 3 years ago, Radha Vallabh Prabhu had set very high standards in our kitchen. For those of you who don't know, Radha Vallabh Prabhu, he took it to the next level of prasadam. And after he left, the devotees were managing kitchen and had a tough standard to emulate. So one brahmachari went to the kitchen and he was like the head cook and he would cook breakfast. And one day Um, I appreciated him for his cooking, but I appreciated it was all about myself. He had made upma and rasam. All of you know upma rasam is a South Indian item. I said, "Wow, you made it so tasty." I took 4 helpings of it, and I was just talking about myself, how I enjoyed that upma rasam, and he was happy. He was listening to me attentively. But then I changed the gear and I went to the second level. I said, "Prabhu, I'm just amazed. You are a doctor by profession. You could have earned millions of dollars every year if you were working. But now you are serving in the kitchen, cooking breakfast and lunch for brahmacharis. It's very difficult. Those of you cook, you know, it's not easy. You get immediate feedback, right? When you those of you cook regularly. If it's good, you know, cooking is like a goalkeeper's job or a wicket keeper's job. You do a good job, you don't get appreciation. But you make one mistake. So then I was telling him how cooking is so difficult, you know, and you are cooking breakfast, lunch every day without a break, and then you get feedback, but you're consistent. You noticed here what I was doing? I had changed the gear. Instead of talking about myself, I was appreciating him now for who he is, independent of me. Appreciating someone independent of yourself. And that time I saw I could feel an exchange of energy of love. I could feel it was real love. Because I was talking, and then I could see he became so emotional as well. And he was so happy. So this is actually appreciation, where we begin with ourselves, but we move beyond ourselves. You know, once we went on a yatra to Narmada. You were there in that yatra? Narmada, no, na? Narmada, we were there. What is that? Amarkantak yatra. Oh, you're not there. Amarkantak was a yatra where all of us went, brahmacharis went. And one group of devotees, one of them, I think somebody hit a beehive and the bees attacked, and you know, all of them were stung by the bees and they got all these boils, and I was in another group. And then later on they all came with all these boils. It's not nothing dangerous. It will go off in 24 hours. But when you look at it, you feel so. And then when I saw all of that, my first reaction was, Krishna, thank you, I am safe. It is all about me. And even when I was appreciating devotees in the yatra, I was appreciating because I got good prasadam. You know, I was safe. I was good. Thank you for giving me a nice yatra experience. But then, the second day of the yatra, I changed gears. I went to the devotees who were stung by the bee. I appreciated them for who they were. And the yatra managers, thanking them for, you know, what they are doing for everyone, not just me. And I could see how fulfilling that experience for me was. You know, I felt very Krishna conscious because I was going beyond myself. So this is what we have done today. Level 1 of appreciation is what? About ourselves. Level 2 is about the other person. And level 3 is about Krishna. And that's what you're going to do now. How many people have you appreciated or heard about so far in these 2 rounds? How many people you have spoken about or heard about total? 2. So all of you know about 2 people now. 1, the person you have appreciated. And second, the person you have heard. Correct? Now you are going to get Krishna into the picture. How? Listen to this carefully. You and your partner will now be one team. Okay? One person. In the sense, you choose which person to take first. I'm not saying A should speak first or B should. You decide, you can do it together. And I'll give you 2 minutes. And when you have 10, 15 seconds left, I'll announce that only 20 seconds are left. So you'll have to wind up. You take up some name first. And because you have already heard about him or spoken about him, so you know him well, quite well now, see what qualities come out of that person, which you are seeing is seen in the universe, in a world beyond yourself and in a world beyond your partner. In a world beyond that person and yourself, in a world beyond both of you, in a world where, have you seen Krishna demonstrate this quality? Have you seen your Guru Maharaj? Here is where we get Guru Maharaj and Prabhupada into the picture. Have you seen Guru Maharaj demonstrate this quality? If no, maybe Prabhupada, maybe Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, maybe Ambarish Maharaj, maybe Prahlad Maharaj, maybe Lord Ram, maybe Hanuman, maybe Jambavan. You getting it? What I'm saying? Scriptures or some other acharyas. Maybe Sanatan Goswami did something like this. Do you get? Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Bhagavat. We have so many examples. Let us say you are very new to Krishna consciousness, you don't know any of this, but you surely know about some great personalities in the past. You know Mahatma Gandhi, Abraham Lincoln, so many people, right? Nelson Mandela, I don't know. You think, basically we are now going from I to him or her to the universe. When we enter this bigger space, then we see a connection. We are all actually connected to each other, ultimately. Because we are all parts and parcels of Krishna. When you can take appreciation to this level and see Krishna in the picture, get Krishna in the picture, you will see your bhakti experiences become totally fulfilling. For those of you who don't know, Jigar and I, we were working together on a same project for many years. And we would have altercation, strong differences. But this third round, which you are going to do now, helped me work with him amicably. So if I was your partner, you are my partner now, in the third round, what would you do? You know about Jigar, you have heard about Jigar. How will you help me see what qualities you think comes out very strikingly? Helpful, sensitive, caring. Caring specific. Can you go specific in caring? Caring to, you're all right. This is just one quality I'm just deeply affected is his love for his mother and his father. You know, of course, there are many qualities. He's caring, he went out of it, all of that is there. But his love for his parents, his gratitude for his parents is what really touched my heart. And the way he takes care of his mother and the way he expresses gratitude to his father. So then, in the third round, this is what we would do if you were my partner. We could say, okay, grateful to parents is the quality that comes out. And we can see this in two examples. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is known as Matra Bhakta Shiromani. He is known as the greatest devotee of a mother. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's example. So he is displaying qualities of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Srila Prabhupada dedicated Krishna book to whom? Not George Harrison. To his father Gaur Mohan De. He said, this book is dedicated to my father Gaur Mohan De who gave me Krishna. So when he is going to Gaya, whenever he says I'm going to Gaya, I remember Srila Prabhupada. So when I'm interacting with Jigar, and if I have strong differences of opinion, I can say, well, he is following the footsteps of Mahaprabhu, Srila Prabhupada. He has got qualities which Srila Prabhupada has revealed. So how will you, it will be difficult for you to offend him. If you know somebody is embodying the quality of Mahaprabhu. This is the third level of appreciation. Can we get Krishna in here? Can we allow Krishna to enter our appreciation? Can we do this? So can you both work together, you and your partner? Take up one of the examples and then if you finish, then you go to the second one. Can you do it? Yes. Not sure? Yes. Easy, right? Not easy, but think, pray. We can start? I'll give you 2 minutes and just when 30 seconds are left, I'll tell you. Start. 30 seconds more. Just 30 seconds more. Hare Krishna. So I want to ask you a question. During this exercise, when we are appreciating a person, I'm sure you had already appreciated him before also. Otherwise, you wouldn't have remembered him for this exercise, right? In the sense, you must have earlier also thought good about him. Now, was there something different that happened this time? Is we tried to get Krishna in the picture. Now, I want to ask you, during this exercise, would anyone here like to share? Was it something unique that struck you about that person you are appreciating, which you didn't think about earlier? Only because of this exercise, something really struck. See, you may have already appreciated him, but something, especially the third round, is there something in the universe that you saw which resonates with his quality or her quality? Would anyone like to share loudly? Just 10 seconds, just. Either that you heard from your partner or that you yourself realized when you were speaking. Something unique which was like, wow, Krishna also has this quality. And no, this is how it happened. Yeah, please.
So, Hansapri Mataji told me about the Ananta Hidayat Prabhu.
Where is he? हाँ आनंद नेता है ब्रो. Of course I know him. IIT का अपना दोस्त है. अंकुर.
So, she was saying, she glorified him like she is my whole person, and she wants so many Ananta Prabhus in the temple. Because he does things so meticulously and arranges everything. Whenever she doesn't have time, he plans everything, and if she is not able to follow the plan, he comes himself and finishes off everything. So she said it reminds him of Vrinda Devi,
Wow.
who arranges everything for Radha Krishna.
Beautiful. So next time when you see him, you could see him how he is carrying the mood of Vrinda Devi. Wow. This is beautiful. You can, because this is spiritual world, right? This is an amazing point. So if I see this is going to help me also. When I see someone in Chowpatty temple where I am staying, somebody is meticulously doing service, I can see him as a representative of Vrinda Devi or empowered by Vrinda Devi. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Anybody else? Something like this. From scripture or from the universe, do you see this quality of a friend that you like or the person you appreciated? That quality resonating in the universe, in the Bhagavatam or somewhere else?
It was not exactly a quality, but doing this made me realize that even though someone is not a devotee at the point, he's still related to Krishna. At times you forget that when we see people who are not into this. We just think they're, they're on some other plan.
Yeah.
But it made me realize that those people are also somehow connected.
Connected to Krishna. Actually, we need to see Krishna in the heart of the person. See, otherwise we can't preach. You can't preach if you don't see Krishna in the heart of the person that you're interacting with. Like when you're distributing, I distributed books for some years. Trust me when I say this. Many times I came back to temple with a very big score. 130, 140 books. And there are occasions when I came back with very less score of 10 or 15 books. But when I remembered Krishna, the scores were insignificant. Like somebody is taking the book. and he's not taken it yet. He's just looking at the book. And I'm praying internally. Krishna, let him take it. He's there in the, Krishna, you're there in the heart of, as Paramatma. Let him take the book, let him take the book, let Krishna, please, let his spiritual life begin. Krishna, please, he's such a nice man, looks quite disturbed though. Please help him, Krishna. Let him take the book, Krishna. Krishna, please. So you're talking to him, smiling at him, and you're also explaining to him, but you're also internally praying. And then after a long time, he gives you back the book. And then you're disappointed, but you go to the next person. And it has happened with me sometimes. I've come back with a less score, but I've come back fulfilled. Because, as you said, we have seen that person has connected to Krishna. Beautiful. Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, I'll give an example. Before last year, I did this in New Jersey. So I did the same. In the last round, I asked, did you connect to the universe? Did you remember something? So one person raised his hand, and I was about to tell him, and then immediately he did like this. So I thought he doesn't want to speak, so I ignored him, and then somebody else spoke. And then again I looked, and then again he was thoughtful, and again he raised his hand, and I said, yes, Prabhu. Immediately, so I knew that something is happening within him. I said, okay, I'll come back to him later. I spoke to the other devotee, and then during Prasadam, I walked up to him, and he also came to me. And what he shared was amazing. He said, Prabhu, I raised my hand and I withdrew because I was scared to say, because then my partner would know, because my partner began to speak in the exercise that we had. He began to speak about one devotee in our community whom I hate like anything. And then when he began to speak, I was like, hey, he's speaking about this devotee and I don't like him at all. But I had to put up a front, smile, yeah. And then he said, this Prabhuji said, as he was appreciating, I began to console myself, saying that, okay, this person is actually very bad, but maybe this fellow has got some help. So then I patiently heard him for 2 minutes. I got over. And the second round, I was shocked when my partner revealed to me how this devotee has so many qualities. And how he's helping, or whatever, different things about. I had never even thought that Prabhuji had all those things. That was, just blew my mind away. But that was still okay. The worst part was the third round where I had to rack my brains and I had to see Krishna there. So at the end of the third round, I was totally humbled. I can't say I love him now, but my hatred and dislike has gone down significantly. So that's when my faith in this exercise increased a lot. Any other scriptural connection? Yes.
So, Prabhuji was talking about a devotee who is very responsible. Whatever task is assigned to him, he would finish on time and he would extend also if required. So, we were connecting with Lord Krishna. When he comes to this world, right? When he comes to this. When he comes to this world, right, he acts very responsibly. He kills the demons and then establishes the relation, and he gives the scriptures that needs to be followed. And also he follows the rules that he sets. He acts as the ideal grahastha, and he sets an example for
Krishna in Dwarka.
Yeah, Dwarka.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. What happened when I was doing this in Phoenix last year? I'm just sharing the examples of other devotees, how it helps. So I had not gone to the Phoenix temple as yet. I went to one house, we had a program. So one Mataji, when I asked this question, one of the Mataji raised her hand and she said that my partner was sharing the quality of the pujari here in our temple. And she started speaking about that brahmachari in the temple who is taking care of the deities. And she mentioned how this brahmachari is quite old. He's getting old now. And he has difficulty doing the seva, but he never misses the seva. And sometimes while dressing the deities also he struggles. So he gets a stool, he gets a chair, And he manages to serve the deities very beautifully. And in the end, when the darshan opens, everybody is amazed by the darshan. But nobody realizes that he is struggling. But he doesn't let anyone know that he's struggling. But even in his old age, he's dressing the deities beautifully. So as she was appreciating, can you guess which personality I was thinking of? No, somebody was dressing deity. Gadadhar Pandit. What did Gadadhar Pandit do? When he was dressing Tota Gopinath, he was old and Gopinath sat down for him. So now, that Mataji did not know about Gadadhar Pandit. She just mentioned many things about him, but this struck in my heart. She also mentioned other things about this brahmachari, how he cooks. And then the example she gave was how, Damayanti and Raghav Pandit were great cooks in Lord Chaitanya. So she connected him to Damayanti and Raghav Pandit. But what hit me hard was, I connected him to Gadadhar Pandit. Now that's it. I don't even know who he is. And believe me, and the program got over. And I went, and we all went, and I took prasad and took rest. Next day, I went to the temple for darshan. And that's the first time I'm entering the temple. And the brahmachari, there are three brahmacharis there. When he came, I instantly knew it is he. Not only I knew it is he, but I had already heard his glories. And now when he's coming in front of me, that energy of appreciation was already there. And not only we hugged, but I felt I've entered the pages of Chaitanya Charitamrita. I can't describe what I felt. I felt I was with someone who is like Gadadhar Pandit, who loves Krishna, who loves... So I didn't even exchange any words with him, but I felt love for him. Isn't this a Vaishnava community supposed to be like? We are supposed to love others. And I didn't even know him. That's the best part. So this is how powerful this exercise is, to connect our appreciation to Krishna. I'll give something funny happened in Mumbai. All the senior leaders were sitting like this, and ladies were on one side, the men were here. And they're all counselors, okay? So then we did this exercise. In the end, I asked, any realizations? And all these counselors are intelligent, they know Shastra. So one Mataji raised her hand, and she said something that was amazing. She said, I want to share today in this August assembly, since all of our counselors, we've known each other for many years. Today I want to make a confession. My husband, and then everybody looked at her husband, was in the men's side. I was talking about him to my partner. And as I was appreciating him, there is one quality of my husband which I've been very irritated by since I got married. The last 15 years we are married. And I've always been upset with him because of this quality. But today, because of this exercise, I realized that is wonderful. And that quality is actually beautiful. And everybody was anxious to know, what is that? She said, my husband has a very peculiar quality. He has some intuition power. That sometimes when I go for certain social gatherings, sometimes he would nonchalantly, offhand, he would tell me, you know what, I think you shouldn't go for this program. You will come back disappointed. And that Mataji anyway doesn't like you. Something he would tell me, something which I would get little irritated. And then, as he predicted, I would have a bad experience there. And when I came back, instead of thanking him, I would tell him, you cursed me, that's why I had a bad experience. So this happened, she said, in the last 5 years, this happened many times. So, but today, I realized that instead of saying it is his curse, I began to see that it is his specially empowered quality. Everybody has some idiosyncrasy, everybody has some qualities. This is a special quality, he has an intuitive power. And the third round made me realize, not Parvati, Shiva and Sati. You are smart. She said, I realized my husband is a representative of Lord Shiva. Because Lord Shiva stopped, he told Sati not to go for the... So then everybody laughed, like you are all smiling. No, this Mataji is making a big confession. She's looking at the men said, and my husband is a representative of Lord Shiva. Thank you. So everybody laughed. And you know what the Prabhuji did? He got up. He said, Hari Bol, Prabhus and Matajis, I am so happy today to hear that my wife is now going to see me as Lord Shiva. But let it be on record that I have always seen her as Durga only. He said, I have seen her as embodiment of Durga. So everyone, it was a light conversation, everybody laughed. It was very sweet. So this exercise is actually powerful. See, we do this for 3 hours actually. There are a lot of scriptural things, pastimes from Gorilla, but here we are just doing it in 1.5 hours just to get it, for you to get an idea about what it is. So it's very, very powerful. And we see that, and only when we genuinely see Krishna and we connect Krishna, then things become extraordinarily miraculous. I'll give one real story. This story is too good to be true. You may think, really? Something like this? It's like a movie story. I want to tell you this story. When I was preaching some years ago, Shubh-Vilas Prabhu and myself, we met one young boy. His name is Chetan. This is a real name. I'm not. Because when I was speaking, and I changed the name, then I knew I want to speak about Chetan later. So I came back to the original. Chetan Kanakia. So his son, Chinmay. So this is a story of Chinmay. So Chinmay was a young boy who came to our youth program. And the first time I met him in 2016 when he came for the class, I gave him mala, I said chant Hare Krishna. And then somehow, we have this nature in India, young boys when they, young innocent boys when they start chanting, we get scared that if they go home and tell their parents that they are chanting Hare Krishna, their parents may become insecure. So I remember telling him, don't tell your parents that you're coming to temple and you're chanting. Not yet, we'll tell them soon, but I was scared that, they may stop him from coming to temple. He said, okay. But he went home and he did exactly opposite of what I told him. He called his father who was on a business trip somewhere else out of Mumbai, and he told his father. And next day he comes to temple and says, Prabhuji, you told me not to tell, but I told my father. And he became very quiet he was on the other end of the line on the phone. He became stunned. He didn't say anything. And he was supposed to come next week, but he told me, son, I'll come back in 2 days, you wait. I want to talk to you something very serious. So Prabhu, this is what happened. And I got so upset with Chinmay. I told him, I told you not to tell your father. Now, then I thought I've lost this boy. He's not going to come now. But then something amazing happened. After a few days, this boy comes to temple with a big smile and he says, Prabhu, my father, I will tell you what happened. Then he showed me from his bag an old Bhagavad Gita and Krishna book, 1978 edition. And an old bead bag with, beads which had actually rusted away. And I was like, what is this? He said, as soon as my father came back from his business trip, he held my hand. He went, every year Diwali we clean up the house. There is one trunk which contains some old things and my father never throws it away. My father opened that bag and he showed me these books and this bead bag. And he said, son, I'm so happy you're going to ISKCON. Because when I was your age, I was in Boston studying, and one amazing, cute brahmachari preacher, he would come to me. His name was Niranjan Das Brahmachari. He was such a nice boy. He would come and give me this book. He gave me this book, and he would get me cakes and cookies and Mahaprasad. He would cycle all the way. He's such a nice boy, and just to please him, I started chanting 16 rounds, and I was in love with Krishna. And when you are telling me you're going to ISKCON, suddenly everything, all the memories coming back to me. I am so glad, son, that you're going. You should go there. So then he said, who's talking to whom now? Chinmay is telling me about what his father is telling him. So Chinmay is telling me. And Prabhu, you know what? I asked my dad, but then why did you stop chanting? Why did you stop Krishna activities? If if Niranjan Das was so cute, so nice to you and all of that, you're appreciating him. He said, but what to do, son? I had to come back to India. My parents forced me to get married and, then I got married to your mother. Then all my chanting stopped. And he started speaking about all the Grihastha life challenges. But now that you are going there, so I want you to see this book. I was chanting at one time. And then, now Chinmay tells me, Prabhuji, so my father has given full blessings. Now I will chant. You tell me what to do. And I couldn't believe my eyes because coincidentally, at that time, who is this Niranjan Das Brahmachari today known as? His Holiness Srila Niranjan Swami Maharaj, who is a leading ISKCON Guru, GBC, Sannyasi, who served Prabhupada's mission for more than 50 years. And Maharaj was in temple at that time. And he was scheduled to give a class for the youth on Saturday. There was a youth festival called Prerna. And we knew that 1,500 young boys from all over Mumbai would be coming. And I told him, okay, Chinmay, listen. This Niranjan Das Brahmachari is today Niranjan Swami Maharaj. Don't tell your father. We will give him a surprise. Tell him there is a youth festival and he is called as a special guest. Invite him as a special guest. Don't tell him anything about who's the speaker. You just tell him it's a youth festival and some sannyasi will give a talk. Come to ISKCON. So he said, okay. And he was excited because I told him what the whole thing is. So he went and told his father, and he called me and said, Prabhu, my father is coming. And we all set it up. So, and I was one of the organizers waiting for Niranjan Maharaj to enter from the door. And my eyes were on Mr. Chetan Kanakya, who is sitting on the chair, innocent, doesn't know anything. And I'm constantly looking at both of them. Now I'm looking at the direction. Now Maharaj is going to come. What will happen to... And when Maharaj entered, I can never forget this sight for the rest of my life. Mr. Chinmay Kanakya, his eyes lit up. As if he knows him, but he's not sure. And then he's just going through all this surreal experience. And it's visible on his face. And then Maharaj sat and Maharaj started kirtan. Then he became more convinced. And when Maharaj started speaking, he was like, he wanted to jump from his seat. He's like, the whole class, this is how he was. He was smiling, he was like, that was another thing. It was an experience I'll never forget. And after the class, Maharaj did a rousing kirtan and everybody was dancing. And then everything got over. And in India, we have a culture, after a big class or a festival program, and when the speaker comes out, everybody surrounds him. Not everybody, many people surround him, and they, there is this pleasantries we exchange, Hare Krishna. So then Maharaj came out of the Vyasasana, and people are surrounding him. And I see Mr. Chetan Kanakya is running from his seat, literally like in the movies, the old Bollywood movies, they show the lover and the beloved running to embrace. He comes running. And all these boys are in front of him, and he's like, Swamiji, Swamiji, Swamiji. And Maharaj is talking to everyone. Maharaj looks at him. And I was shocked. Maharaj said, Boston? Maharaj remembered Boston. Just looking at his face. This is, 38 years have passed. 1978 to 2016. 38 years have passed and Maharaj said, Boston. And he became like a statue. He just couldn't believe that somebody could remember him. And the next thing was most shocking. Maharaj kept looking at him. And finally Maharaj said, Chetan? Wow. When Maharaj said Chetan, he fell on the ground, he offered Dandavat Pranam, and he did not cry. He actually wailed. There's a difference between crying and wailing. I have never seen a man cry like that in my life before. Because I come from a South Indian Brahmin family where all men are stoic. And I was like, wow. This is what Krishna consciousness can do for someone. And this man was wailing, and then Maharaj picked him up, they bathed each other with their tears, And then Maharaj put his hand on his shoulder and they walked for some time in the temple hall. And then Maharaj is a traveling sadhu, sannyasi, left. See, that's how sannyasis are. Musafiru yaro na ghar hai na tikana. Just walked away. And Chetan Kanakya comes next day to temple, Mangalarati with bead bag. And he tells me, and his son was staying in our base in Borivali where I was preaching. We have a base where young boys stay. He said, can I stay in the base with my son? I said, Prabhu, that's for unmarried young boys. No, I want to stay for just 2 months to get charged up. I said, okay, you stay. I said, but why do you want to stay? He said, I'm going to start from today 32 rounds every day. He started chanting 32 rounds of Hare Krishna Japa. I said, why 32? Come to 4, 8, 16. He said, no, I want to make up for all the lost years. This story is so fascinating because, and I was thinking why Niranjan Maharaj was able to, remember him or that touch his heart so deeply. For 38 years he could remember him because he's not seen him as just a boy, seeing him as a divine soul who's come to Krishna. That Krishna connection is extremely important to genuinely love someone. So that's how pure devotees are. And there are many examples in Chaitanya Charitamrita. I would like to just give one example and then maybe we can have few minutes of question answers. One of the most amazing, inspiring examples is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. He is in Gambira. Gambira is a place where he would stay. And what kind of dreams he would get at night, anybody knows? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, whenever he slept, what dreams he would get? Ek din Mahaprabhu Koriya chen shayan, Krishna rasa lila kare dekhila swapan. Mahaprabhu's dreams would be, he would get dreams of Krishna performing Ras Lila. And what are the kind of dreams we get? And because of those dreams, he couldn't get up for Mangalarati. We don't get up for Mangalarati for different reasons. Because they're busy watching Netflix or whatever the previous night. He didn't get up. So Govinda woke him up. And you know what Mahaprabhu said? What he saw in the dream, he is describing. Tribanga sundara deha murali vadan pitambara vana mala madana mohan. What did Mahaprabhu see? Threefold bending form of Krishna playing the flute in yellowish dazzling. This is what Mahaprabhu is seeing in his dreams everywhere. And then he starts running to Jagannath temple. Mahaprabhu would see, Kaviraj Goswami says, when Mahaprabhu ran to see Jagannath, he would see Krishna everywhere. Everywhere there was Krishna, and that to Krishna of Vrindavan. Everywhere. And then he comes to Jagannath. But one amazing thing about Lord Chaitanya, when he would enter Jagannath temple, he would not go beyond Garuda Stamba, Garudaji's deity. Why? Why? No, there is another reason. He was controlled. That is one, that is very important. There is one more reason. He would not go beyond Garudaji. He would stand behind Garudaji and take darshan of Jagannath. Yeah, Lord Chaitanya was so conscious that I am not so advanced. Garudji is very dear to Jagannath. So if I am standing behind Garudji, Lord Jagannath will not look at me. But Lord Jagannath will look at Garudji and Lord Jagannath will say, who is this next to my devotee? Let me give him also mercy. So this is the mood of a person who is seeing Krishna everywhere. Nobody in the history, nobody in the future will ever experience ecstasy like Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu experienced. But this person considers himself as insignificant. And he is taking darshan of Jagannath. When he is taking darshan of Jagannath, from Garudji, his body is slanted like this. Because he is holding on to the Garudji's deity and he is tall. So it becomes like a ladder. And one Odia woman, elderly woman, she starts seeing, she's unsophisticated. And she says, Jagannath! And she starts running. And she runs on Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, she climbs on his shoulder. Now this is a sannyasi. You're not even, Mataji is not supposed to come anywhere close to a sannyasi. Here, imagine a Mataji has climbed on his shoulder. Imagine if this happens today, Instagram next day post viral video, biggest controversies and scandals. So, it will become a big sensation. So this Mataji is standing on his shoulder. And Mahaprabhu is not doing anything. And Govinda, Mahaprabhu's servant, is shocked. And what does he do? He immediately grabs that lady and pulls her down. This stupid lady, don't you see this is sannyasi? So immediately, she is a very good lady. It's just that out of overwhelming love and emotion, she just lost sense of time, direction, place. And when she realizes, she begs forgiveness. She slaps herself, she pays dandavat. And she apologizes and she leaves. Now the best part of the pastime is now. After she leaves, Lord Chaitanya looks at Govinda and says, you uncultured Adivasi. Mahaprabhu calls him uncultured Adivasi. This is amazing. And when I was seeing these verses, what Mahaprabhu tells him, Tara Arti Deki Prabhu Kohite Lagila. Mahaprabhu saw her desperation to see Jagannath, and Mahaprabhu is now telling Govinda, Tara Arti Deki Prabhu Kohite Lagila Eta arti Jagannatha more nahi dila. This kind of arti, this kind of eagerness, Jagannath has not given me, which this woman has. Now remember, we have already discussed what Mahaprabhu was experiencing. He's seeing Krishna everywhere. He's getting dreams of Ras Leela. How many of us have dreamt of Krishna in threefold bending form? And Mahaprabhu is getting all of that, and he's able to see, and he's also a great scholar, great Pandit, great sannyasi, Brahmin, and he's able to see this uneducated, simple woman as having more eagerness for Jagannath than himself. And then Mahaprabhu he diagnoses the situation. He tells Govinda, do you know why she climbed on my shoulder? Mahaprabhu gives a verdict. He says, she climbed on my shoulder because Jagannatha vishtahiyar tanu mana prane. Jagannatha avishta, she was Jagannathized. She was fully Krishnaized. Mahaprabhu says from top to bottom, she was filled with Jagannath. That is why what happened? Jagannatha vishtahiyar tanu mana prane. Moraskanda pada diyache tato nahi jane. That's why she didn't realize that she's climbing on my shoulder. And then finally Mahaprabhu now begs for a blessing. What is the blessing he wants? This is a historical verse. Please repeat after me. Aho bhagyavati Vandi hiyar pai Hiyara prasada oiche Arti amar vahai. Mahaprabhu is saying, Aho bhagyavati, she is the most fortunate soul. Vandi yarpai, I fall at her lotus feet and I offer my respectful obeisances. Why? Yara prasada, if I can get her prasad, if I can get her blessing, I will also get arti amar vahai. I will also get the same eagerness for Jagannath. So such an advanced position Mahaprabhu is in, and he is able to see this, yet he is able to see this insignificant unknown woman as more advanced than him. And this is the goal of Krishna consciousness. We have to be humble. We have to be respecting everyone else. And for all that to happen, it begins with appreciation. If we can't appreciate others, how will we not expect respect and offer respect to others? So to conclude, we discussed 3 levels of appreciation. The first level of appreciation is centered on self. Second, on the other person. And third, we see the qualities displayed in the universe and in Krishna. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Any comments, questions? The host, we have time? 5 minutes? No? I don't know. I don't want to go beyond the time. Yeah, you tell me when to stop. Any comments or questions regarding what we have discussed today?
Prabhuji, I have one question. So you touched a very beautiful point on the eagerness of whenever you see Lord. So my question is, whenever you go to a temple as a devotee and you feel very eager or your emotions flow, how should you interpret that as?
Be grateful. Many of us don't feel those emotions. Be grateful and be very humble.
Okay.
It's a blessing, Prabhu.
Okay.
Many of us, we become mechanical in our bhakti. We don't feel those emotions. Consider yourself blessed.
Okay.
And savor those moments, because soon those moments will go away. And you will be also hankering like many of us.
Yeah.
And then you'll keep remembering, those days, that day when I felt so much emotions. It's a blessing. First canto, Narad Muni's episode, Bhagavatam, reveals this. Narad Muni also experienced like that. And then little Narada. And then he didn't get it again. And then Lord revealed to him through Akashvani, through a voice in the sky, that you'll keep hankering for this for the rest of your life. And you will never get this experience, but you'll keep hankering. And that hankering will purify you. So all of us have some experience in the initial days when we got that connection with Krishna, and then we are like looking for it whole life.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you. I see one hand there. Yes, Amsapriyaji.
I really enjoyed the exercise, to not just look things on surface, but scratch more deeper in. And I just wanted to share a reflection because it's been in my mind. We had a Radhashtami, and apparently Radhashtami, we had a huge turnout at the temple. And it's normal than other Radhashtami that we had in the past. And Mother Nirakula, she stands on the altar and she takes Radharani's shoes and puts it in everyone's head. So we had to make an announcement that, devotees had to turn around, because in the parking lot and in the hallways, everywhere there were devotees. And so we made announcement that if you had an opportunity, please you move on and then let others come in. And to my surprise, I asked one of the devotee, saying, did you get an opportunity to get Radharani's shoes on your head? And he said, no, because you made an announcement that to let the new devotees, new people come in, and core devotees, as they finish getting their shoes on their head, then you move on and let others in. And apparently he said, no, I didn't. When you mentioned, I moved out and I gave others an opportunity to let them in.
Beautiful.
And get the shoes. And then the most powerful thing that touched my heart was what he said. He said, just watching others getting the Radharani's lotus feet on their head, that gave me so much joy and satisfaction. That itself was like getting the mercy. So I was just thinking, he just comes, volunteers and goes. He's not the one of the regular practitioners. So I was just thinking, you don't know until you really scratch into the appreciation of the person. So thank you for actually discussing this today. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that story. Beautiful. So many stories like this are there. If you just keep our eyes and ears open, isn't it amazing? So many devotees can teach us. Sometimes we think seniority, just because this is a new devotee and he's having so many such beautiful quality. Thank you. Amazing story. Yes. You can speak loudly, the microphone will come. Yeah.
So you spoke about appreciating devotees, and I wanted to ask.
It's on.
If not addressed, then what is a good time to appreciate devotees? Like in temple, we meet devotees for a minute. Like we just there are 100 of devotees we know, and just like whenever we meet, or what is a good time?
You're asking me how. I was speaking on why. I was speaking about the principle. You figure out the how. How is a detail, but today class was on the why, the principle. How can be little spontaneous. You can't structure everything. You can't make, okay, Prabhu, wait, I have to appreciate you. 1, 2, 3, now go. It's not like that. And also, the best way to begin is, see, we have a lot of time, honestly. We think we don't have time. I mean, people spend so much time on WhatsApp, on YouTube. And also, you can begin by appreciating behind the person. Like, you're talking to him, you could appreciate someone else. So, it's very difficult. You try this. we may appreciate a person in front of him, but it's very difficult to appreciate a person behind his back. But if you can do that, that's real appreciation. If you appreciate only in front of him, but never in his back, that could be flattery. Flattery is the beginning of abuse. The Japanese proverb says that. So, we can try that. And if there's no time, temple hall, only 1 minute, and then text him. Like I'll tell you, just yesterday, I hear this temple, I'm from Chopati temple, so we have morning Bhagavatam classes there. So, I many times hear the class of Chopati temple during my travels, because that nourishes me. So I heard, yesterday I just switched on, I saw, okay, Pradyumna Mishra Prabhu. He's a relatively not new brahmachari, but he joined many years after me, like 15 years after me. So, but for me, he's giving Bhagavatam class, and it's part of the process. And understand. I mean, I didn't discriminate or anything. I was just happy to hear the Bhagavatam class. And he gave a fantastic class. And I was like stunned, wow. So I decided to appreciate him. We all use WhatsApp. We all send messages. So I just sent, it took me 1 minute to write a small message saying that I liked these 3 points. Thank you so much. It was such an amazing class. And I just, thank you. And he wrote a long reply back. Prabhu, I didn't expect you'll hear my class. Prabhu, all that he wrote. And then I realized, wow, just a genuine appreciation meant so much for him. So, it's not really, okay, you may not have time in the temple, but there's always time to connect with people on so many platforms. So, that's a how question. You figure it out. But at least have a desire, then Krishna will guide you on how to appreciate. And actual appreciation is through service. When you really appreciate someone, you'll also serve that person. Some people can't appreciate, like many traditional Indian families I've seen, their language of love is service. I know one brahmachari in our temple, he's always has a face like this. We call him angry young man. Now he's old now, we call him angry old man. He's always angry. But he's always loving devotees, always serving. So, how do you understand this? He's like that. He's very loving. I remember when I joined, I had a back spasm, and he would always make fun of us, Hey, educated guys, you come from educated background, you are lazy fellows, you don't do any service. And he is a tough man, He would 3-4 bulls, he could just handle in one hand. He was like a very strong man. So I would think he was envious or he was snobbish or this like that. But then when I got a back spasm, he came to me. And when he came near me, I ran away, I thought, I got scared of him. But then he went, he brought an ointment and he made me sit and he rubbed that ointment for 45 minutes on my back. And he is 10 years senior to me. Generally, we don't take seva from seniors. We serve our seniors and, we may allow some junior to serve sometimes. But he is my senior and he is like putting this, and all the while he's not that he's saying, oh Prabhu, I love you, you're so nice. No, no appreciation. And then he will go away. It's amazing. And there's another brahmacharya I know who is always like this. And this is exactly he was. Palms folded like this. We think humility means a look in the eye. Your eyes should be, or a body posture should be like this. Or a tone in the voice. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisance. He's really humble. It's not humility. So I knew this devotee who had joined the temple, he was always like this. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. But he would never do any service. So one day Baldev Prabhu and myself, we told him, Prabhu, we have to engage him in some seva. Prabhu, 15 minutes, just stand there and give Charanamrit. That's all. And you know what he said? No Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. So now you put him here and put this devotee who doesn't appreciate. So appreciation is not simply words. There is more to it. It's the action. Thank you. We'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu, for a wonderful journey. And I was just thinking, Prabhu has a team in India. There is a team in America. We had a very tough time connecting with them. Because how should you come and things like that, programs. I was thinking, these guys are too much. But after seeing your session, your program, I think they're doing a good job. Taking care of you. It's so important. Thank you for coming. Thank you for everybody for coming here. And I appreciate Achyut Chaitanya Prabhu, Manjari Mataji and their whole gang of, host of devotees who help him around. And they really organized wonderful program here. He has created this temple hall literally beautiful for the satsang programs. So thank you. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu, for the class again. We will now have prasadam in the